Coming from the distant town of Uming in Kianzang, he was ecstatic, yet a bit anxious. His hometown was far away, and he had never lived alone in a big city before. Like many fresh students, Dewey assumed that finding a cheap and decent room in Can Tho would be easy. He was wrong. As soon as the university announced the enrollment schedule, Dewey hurried to Can Tho to look for a place to stay. He quickly realized that most of the affordable rooms were already taken. The rooms that were still available were either extremely expensive or in terrible conditions. Some were far from the campus, making commuting difficult. Dewey was running out of time and options. Then, a friend of his found a post about a room for rent on Nguyen Van Linh Street. From the description, the room seemed ideal. Newly built, well-lit, spacious, and most importantly, very cheap. Just 500,000 VND per month, including basic utilities. Dai went to see the room with his mother, who accompanied him from their hometown. The room was at the front of the building, near the landlord's house, which meant security was less of a concern. The landlord, an older woman, appeared strict and a little unfriendly, but Dewey didn't mind. The room was clean and airy, with sunlight streaming in from large windows. It felt like the perfect choice for a student. He decided to move in immediately and paid the rent for the first month. Everything seemed fine during the first night. The room was quiet and Dewey slept soundly. However, the next day, when he tried to set up a hanging light for his study desk, he discovered something unusual. While drilling into the wall, he struck a small, hidden cavity. Inside, there was a small bundle wrapped in cloth, containing a white paper talisman with strange black inscriptions. It appeared to be a protective charm, meant to ward off evil spirits. Dai was startled, but he didn't feel threatened. He carefully placed the talisman back and continued setting up his room. For the first 2 weeks, life went on normally. Dewey attended classes and worked part-time. But then strange things began to happen. One morning, he opened his rice container to cook breakfast, only to find that some rice had spilled out overnight, despite being tightly closed. The next day, the same thing occurred. Initially, Dewey assumed that mice were responsible, but no traces of rodents could be found. Upon closer inspection, he noticed 5 small handprints on the surface of the rice container, as if someone, or something, had touched it. Dewey was naturally afraid of ghosts, yet he had no choice but to stay in the room due to school and work obligations. Soon, other unsettling events occurred. Each night, he would find stray hair in the bathroom, seemingly of a female origin. He didn't understand where it came from, as he lived alone. Although terrified, Dewey tried to rationalize these phenomena, attributing them to his exhaustion or imagination. Nevertheless, the repeated occurrences wore him down mentally. One evening, after finishing work and returning late, Dewey entered his room to find that the bathroom door appeared to have been tampered with. He had no idea who could have been inside. The next night, he slept uneasily, keeping the lights on, fearing that something might happen again. It wasn't long before the experiences escalated. One night, Dewey had an exceptionally vivid dream. In it, he found himself in a vast rice field, walking behind a young girl dressed in a traditional black ao ba ba, her hair shoulder-length and dripping wet. He could not see her face, only her back. The girl moved slowly, leading him through the field and across a small river. The dream was eerily realistic, and Dewey felt an intense sense of unease as he followed her. The girl's presence was simultaneously calming and frightening, as if she carried a heavy, sorrowful energy. The next night, the same dream repeated, almost identically. But this time, the girl's face became partially visible. Her skin was pale and smooth, but devoid of any distinct features. Her face was completely blank. Dewey woke up drenched in sweat, his heart racing. These nightly visions left him exhausted, but he continued to endure them, unable to abandon his room just yet. Gradually, Dewey discovered the history behind the haunted room. Years ago, the landlord's granddaughter had tragically drowned in a small pond behind the building. Even though the physical body was taken away to Saigon, locals believed that her spirit remained attached to the property. According to the stories, her presence was calm and gentle, yet occasionally playful or mischievous. The room Dewey had rented happened to be the one associated with her lingering energy, which explained why strange phenomena occurred there but not in the other rooms. Despite the fear, Dewey had responsibilities. He needed to attend classes, work part-time, and manage his life as a student. He tried to adjust his routine to minimize encounters with these supernatural events. For instance, he kept lights on at night, avoided going into the bathroom alone after dark, and refrained from making unnecessary noise that might disturb the presence. Slowly, he learned to coexist with the strange occurrences, observing them rather than reacting with panic. Eventually, Doi decided it was time to move out, not out of fear alone, but for convenience. Balancing studies, work, and the unsettling nightly experiences made him realize that it would be safer and more comfortable to relocate to another room. He packed his belongings carefully, leaving behind the talisman and other minor offerings as a sign of respect. On the day he moved, he noticed that the room felt strangely empty and silent, almost as if the spirit acknowledged his departure. Looking back, Dewey reflected on the entire experience. He realized that moving into a new room, especially one with a mysterious or unknown history, required caution and preparation. It wasn't just about the location, price, or amenities. Sometimes the past of a place can leave a lingering mark. In Dewey's case, small offerings, mindfulness, and respect for the space allowed him to live there without serious harm, even if it meant enduring months of subtle and bizarre phenomena. Dewey's story raises an important question for students, or anyone renting temporary accommodation. How should one appropriately house bless, or settle into a room to avoid disturbances? Some traditions suggest offerings of food, fruit, or incense to seek peace and safety. Others emphasize being observant, cleaning the space, and respecting the history of the property. Whether one believes in spirits or not, these actions can foster a sense of security and mental calm, which is essential for anyone living alone for the first time. In the months that followed, Dewey stayed with friends or in other safer rooms when possible. Though the strange events gradually ceased, the memories of that room lingered vividly. He occasionally recounted the story to friends, advising them to choose rooms wisely, research their history, and, if necessary, perform appropriate rituals or house blessings. Ultimately, the experience taught Dewey several lessons. He learned patience, courage, and adaptability. Most importantly, he learned how to balance respect for the unknown with practical life needs. While the haunted room in Can Tho will always remain a curious chapter in his life, it also became a tale of resilience and cautious wisdom, a reminder that sometimes the world is stranger than we expect, and a little care and awareness can go a long way in navigating its mysteries.